All right, so today we're going to be taking a deep dive into accent improvement.
Oh.
Specifically for you, actually.
Oh, okay.
We've got your notes here and some really interesting points from the How to Develop a Good English Accent podcast.
Okay.
It looks like you're really focused on taking your English communication skills to the next level.
Yeah.
And honestly, who isn't?
Right.
So let's unlock some of those secrets to clearer and more confident speech.
You know what's so interesting to me about accent is that it's so much deeper than just sounding a certain way.
I see.
The hosts of this podcast, Alex and Kundin, they're spot on when they say that a good accent can unlock smoother communication, boost your confidence, and even open doors professionally. It's like having this secret weapon that can really help people hear what you have to say.
It's funny because they actually emphasize that it's not about erasing your unique voice or sounding like a Hollywood actor or something.
Right. Exactly. They debunk that native speaker myth right away. What they really hammer home is the importance of clarity.
Okay.
Think about it. Have you ever struggled to understand someone with a strong accent?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
It can be really frustrating for both sides.
Yeah, for sure.
When you're clear and easy to understand, people can really focus on your message, not how you're saying it.
Right.
And that can be a huge game changer, especially in your professional life.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They also highlight some common traps that people fall into.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Like trying to sound perfect right out of the gate.
Right. And that's just a recipe for burnout.
Yeah.
It's like trying to run a marathon without any training.
Exactly.
Alex and Kundin remind us that accent improvement is a journey, not a sprint.
Right.
It's about consistent effort and small wins over time.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And speaking of common mistakes, they point out that a lot of people completely ignore the specific pronunciation rules of English.
Oh, yeah.
Those tricky silent letters. Or, where to stress the right syllables.
It's like trying to build a house without understanding the blueprints.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy.
Right.
Yeah.
They emphasize that understanding these rules is so crucial for building a solid foundation.
So what does a solid foundation actually look like?
Well, the podcast breaks it down into 3 core elements.
Okay.
Pronunciation, intonation, and stress, and rhythm. So pronunciation, of course, is all about getting those individual sounds, right?
Right.
Then you've got intonation.
Yeah.
The way your voice rises and falls naturally as you speak.
Oh, okay.
Intonation is like the punctuation of spoken language. It helps the listener to really understand your intent.
Right.
And your emotions.
So, how would that work in practice?
So think about a simple phrase like, it's raining.
Okay, it's raining.
If you say it with a flat intonation, it's just a statement of fact.
Okay.
But if you say it with a rising intonation at the end, like it's raining.
It's raining.
It becomes a question.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's stress and rhythm, which parts of the sentence, and even the words themselves get emphasized.
Amazing.
Even a small shift in stress can completely change the meaning of a word.
Oh, wow.
They gave a great example of photograph versus photography.
Oh, right.
Just by shifting the emphasis, you're talking about 2 completely different things.
Wow. Yeah, that's a really good point.
That really highlights why understanding these elements is so crucial for clear communication.
So how do we actually start putting these elements into practice?
Well, the podcast offers a ton of really practical techniques.
Very cool.
One that I found particularly interesting is using the International Phonetic Alphabet, or IPA.
The IPA. Yeah, have you ever used that before?
Absolutely. The IPA can be a total game changer for pronunciation.
Really?
It's like a map of your mouth.
Oh, wow.
It shows you exactly where your teeth and your lips should be to make each sound.
Oh, that's so cool.
No more guessing or just relying solely on how a word looks.
That's amazing.
Right.
They also recommend practicing minimal pairs.
Yes.
Words that differ by just one sound.
Exactly.
Like ship versus sheep.
Yeah.
Focusing on these subtle differences can really sharpen your ear and pronunciation.
And then there's the shadowing technique, which I think is brilliant.
What is that?
It's about listening to a native speaker and trying to mimic their rhythm and intonation in real time.
Oh, wow. So in the moment.
Yeah.
As they're speaking.
Exactly.
Oh, that's cool.
They suggest using sources like BBC News or even movies.
Oh, wow.
Imagine shadowing your favorite scene.
That would be so fun.
Right. It's like a vocal workout for your accent.
Speaking of workouts, they also emphasize the importance of recording yourself
Oh, yeah.
to hear how you actually sound.
It's like holding up a mirror to your voice.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
You might be surprised by what you hear.
I bet.
Yeah, and to make practice more manageable, they suggest building it into your daily routine.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine starting your day with a few tongue twisters
Okay.
to warm up those pronunciation muscles.
That's fun.
They even give an example.
Oh, what is it?
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, those can be a real mouthful,
Yeah,
but they're a fun and effective way to practice those tricky sounds.
I can imagine.
Yeah, and as you move into your afternoon, you could try some shadowing exercises with a podcast or a news clip.
Okay.
It's all about finding those little pockets of time to practice consistently.
And to wrap up your practice for the day, they recommend trying something called self-talk.
Oh, interesting.
It's basically just talking about your day for a minute or two,
Okay,
and then recording yourself to analyze your progress.
I see.
You could say something like, today I woke up at 7 a.m., had coffee, and went to work.
Yeah.
It's a simple but effective way to practice those everyday phrases and hear how your accent is developing.
Yeah, they also dive into some common pronunciation mistakes and how to fix them.
Like what?
For example, they mention that many people struggle with the th sound,
Oh, the yeah.
saying tink instead of think.
Oh, yeah. To get that thith just right, they suggest physically placing your tongue between your teeth.
Between your teeth.
I know it feels a bit strange at first,
Uh-huh.
but it really helps to create that distinct sound.
Another tricky one they highlight is confusing V and W sounds.
Just like V and W. Yeah.
Like saying wary instead of very.
Okay.
For the V, they recommend lightly touching your bottom lip to your teeth.
Oh.
And for that perfect W sound, it's all about rounding your lips.
It's amazing how such small adjustments can make such a huge difference.
Right.
They also remind listeners to pay attention to word endings.
Yeah.
Making sure to pronounce each sound clearly.
Uh-huh.
It's easy to rush through those final sounds,
Yeah.
but they're so crucial for clear communication.
Yeah.
And finally, to top it all off,
Yeah.
they give a bunch of fantastic resources to support your accent improvement journey.
Oh, cool. Like what?
They suggest websites and apps like BBC Learning English,
Oh, yeah. BBC Learning English is great.
which is fantastic for pronunciation practice,
Uh-huh.
and LS Speak,
LOSA Speak.
which offers AI-powered coaching.
Wow.
You can even use Youglish
Youglish.
to hear how words are pronounced in real conversations from all over the world.
That's really cool.
It's incredible how many resources are available right at our fingertips.
Taking a step back, it seems like the key to accent improvement is this multifaceted approach.
Yeah.
It's not just about mimicking sounds. It's about understanding the mechanics of the language.
Right.
Developing your own personalized practice routine.
Yeah.
And utilizing the fantastic resources that are out there.
And throughout it all,
Yeah.
they emphasize that the goal isn't perfection,
Right.
but clear and confident communication.
I like that.
They encourage listeners to embrace their unique voice while striving for that clarity.
It's about letting your personality shine through.
Yeah.
Even as you refine your accent.
I really appreciate that sentiment.
You know, sometimes people can get so caught up in sounding like someone else that they lose their own voice in the process.
That's so true.
It's a reminder that authenticity is just as important as clarity.
And if there's one major takeaway from this deep dive,
Yeah,
it's that improving your accent is an ongoing journey.
absolutely.
It's about consistent effort and celebrating those small wins along the way.
Absolutely. And the beautiful thing is that every step you take towards clearer communication opens up new opportunities for connection and understanding.
That's so true.
What really stood out to you from this podcast? Was there a particular technique that you're eager to try?
I'm personally really intrigued by the shadowing technique.
Oh, shout out.
It just seems like such a fun and engaging way to practice.
Yeah,
Plus, who wouldn't want to sound a bit more like their favorite movie character?
that's a great one.
Yeah.
I've also found that using the IPA
Yeah.
has been incredibly helpful in breaking down sounds and understanding the mechanics of pronunciation.
Yeah.
It's like having a secret decoder ring for the English language.
It's like they say, practice makes progress, not perfect.
Right.
There are so many great takeaways from this deep dive.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for you to start experimenting with these techniques and discovering what works best for you.
And remember, it's not just about the technical aspects of pronunciation and intonation.
Yeah.
It's also about building your confidence
Right.
and feeling comfortable expressing yourself in English.
Absolutely. The more you practice and the more you use your voice,
Uh-huh.
the more natural and effortless it will become.
This raises a really important question.
Oh, what's that?
What's your biggest takeaway from all of this? What resonated with you the most from this deep dive into the world of accent improvement?
I think the idea of incorporating accent practice into daily routines really stuck with me.
Oh, yeah.
It's so much easier to make progress when you build it into your everyday life rather than trying to cram it all in at once.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And it ties back to the idea of consistency and celebrating those small victories along the way.
Exactly. So as you embark on your accent improvement journey, remember to be patient with yourself. Stay curious. And most importantly, have fun with it.
And remember, you're not alone in this journey.
Right.
There are countless resources and communities out there to support you every step of the way.
Well, that just about wraps up our deep dive into the fascinating world of accent improvement.
It really does.
We've explored the importance of clarity, debunked common myths, and uncovered practical techniques to refine your pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm.
I hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity.
I hope so too.
And equipped you with valuable insights to confidently navigate the intricacies of the English language.
And remember, your voice is unique and powerful.
It is.
Embrace it, nurture it, and let it shine through as you continue to refine your communication skills.
Happy practicing. And until next time,
keep
those pronunciation muscles working.
I think it's so important to remember that accent reduction is a journey. It's not like you can just flip a switch and suddenly have a perfect accent.
There's no magic bullet.
Right, exactly. It's about those small incremental changes over time.
And the more you practice, the more you'll start to notice those changes and feel more confident in your spoken English.
Absolutely. And I think that confidence is really key.
It is.
When you feel good about how you sound, you're more likely to engage in conversations and really connect with people.
And that connection is what it's all about, right?
Exactly. It's about communication and building relationships and sharing ideas.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
what's one final piece of advice you would give to our listeners who are on their own accent improvement journey?
I would say be patient with yourself. Don't get discouraged if you don't see results overnight. Remember that every little bit of effort counts.
Right.
And celebrate those small victories along the way.
I love that.
And remember to have fun with it.
Yes.
It's about enjoying the process of learning and growing.
Well said.
And remember, you're not alone in this. There are so many resources and communities out there to support you.
And we're here to support you too.
Absolutely.
Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into accent improvement.
It was great discussion.
It really was. Thanks for joining me today.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And to all of our listeners out there, keep practicing, keep experimenting, and keep those pronunciation muscles working.
And most importantly, keep talking. Keep sharing your voice with the world.
Until next time.